Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Ma'rufatul Ayu Dwi Nurlita from English Education Department of Zainul Hasan University on the 6th semester. This video made due to the final exam assignment for teaching English subject. So here, I will explain about challenges and its solution in teaching English during community service across schooling. During my time teaching at school, specifically at the Darut Tauhid Patemon Integrated High School, I encountered several challenges in learning English, both in terms of facilities of the school and for the students are as follows. The first challenge is in terms of the facilities at the school, which are inadequate for students to learn English. And then lack of resources and teaching materials. Researcher and materials here refer to various objects that can be used for teaching, such as models, cards, computers, language laboratories, and so on. They play an important role in the success of the teaching and learning process in the classroom because they represent real-world elements intended to help students understand and explain reality. And then the solution is we should use the media and show it. Is it in the form of pictures or real objects so that students see and know directly and understand what the teacher is saying, especially with the attractive colors. Also, by further developing and adding facilities needed by students and the teachers. Apart from that, the time given to teach English is only about an hour for one meeting, so the teacher is not optimal in teaching English. In my opinion, the right solution is to increase teaching hours in one meeting. And then some of the next problems are from the student's perspective. Firstly, students always feel that English is a language that is difficult to learn, and they always feel that they will not be able to master English. So they do not have enough enthusiasm or motivation to encourage their English skill. Learn English well. Students feel that English is a language that is difficult to understand and learn for several reasons, such as they think that English grammar is very complex, making it logistically difficult to remember, master, and use. Comparing our use of grammar can really get tricky, especially when we're talking to someone and they're talking really fast, like too fast. Learning grammar is like learning to drive. You can learn all the theory, rules, and regulations, but you won't get good at it unless you ingrain it and it becomes second nature to you. Incorrect use of grammar can confuse the person we are talking to and even change the meaning of what we mean. Moreover, native English speakers are very aware of grammar and will immediately notice if there is a grammatical error. Also, the vocabulary they know is only a little. With English having an extensive vocabulary and complex grammar, enough to teach students who wish to learn English, it is rare for students to be exposed to the slang words used by English speakers in their everyday conversation. And then sentences can mostly be filled with slang words. So maintaining a conversation can be difficult for anyone who doesn't understand the meaning. Variation in different forms of English are often difficult to understand. For example, differences in the use of formal and informal language, or differences in spoken and written language. This leads to students writing words phonetically, how they would say them rather than how they are actually spelled, and using informal language, perhaps even slang they have picked up, in formal situations that may be viewed negatively. Besides that, knowing how to pronounce words in English can be very difficult because it is not always clear. English speakers are taught from an early age, like how they know not to pronounce the K in Nike or Knife. They are taught in the subtleties in how to pronounce things to communicate the correct message. Additionally, English students often find it difficult to pronounce certain words correctly, having never had to make that phonetic sound before, so they think that it's very difficult to learn English. As a result, they tend to be passive and hesitant to try it. This is made worse when they pay less attention to the lesson during the teaching and learning process. In fact, they tend to chat with their classmates and do other activities such as doodling, studying subjects, and some even sleep. The solution is to train them more in pronunciation of vocabulary, then apart from explaining grammar by providing patterns or forms that will be used, whether yesterday, today, or in the future, we also must not be discouraged from always getting them into the habit of asking one question every time we ask. Start the lesson according to the teaching material they are currently studying or teaching material that has been taught. Introduce more vocabulary to students, because maybe it's because of the lack of knowledge and not reading books about English. So they have difficulty understanding what the teacher says and have difficulty understanding the reading. In this case, we give students an understanding of the importance of reading. So we encourage and guide students to read diligently, and also create a comfortable learning atmosphere for students. To increase students' motivation, we can do this by trying to instill the importance or tell the importance of learning English, both for everyday life and to face developments in the times that continue to develop rapidly and become increasingly sophisticated. If we don't learn English, then we will be left behind because of our ignorance. So that's all the some of challenges and its solutions in learning English that I do when I do the community service in the school, that I can tell and convey to you guys. And then thank you for your attention. The last I say, wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.